Hello, Barmy.
Hello, Barmy Badger Army.
Hi, guys.
We're kind of trying to make a job of social distancing for today's On the Bench. I mean, this is probably a bit too far out. Realistically, I've got to go and do this. Can you still see me?
Just about. So what's on today's show, Nick?
Well, today we're going to talk about all this, about how the world is coming to a standstill.
End?
Yeah, standstill and possible end because of you-know-what.
Sharona.
Yeah. Oh, and in case anyone was remember when I told you about that lake the lake near us, which was going to overflow when we did that really rainy video? There it is.
With mud monsters.
Yeah.
And it's so quiet here today, we can even do stupid sight gags like this.
Yes. And you can even hear birds singing and everything.
Which is actually lovely, but yet slightly disturbing.
Yeah, I don't think doing the social distancing is actually going to work.
I love you too much, man.
Indeed. Feeling mutual, and I also need to preserve my voice.
Indeed, darling.
Yeah, the microphone on this thing isn't that good, is it?
Ooh. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about Glastonbury. We're going to talk about potential other gigs being cancelled. Obviously, mad shoppers and lots of other things. What else are we going to talk about, Nick?
Well, it was announced yesterday. They've cancelled Eurovision.
Yes, no more Eurovision, and of course many other things. What else, Nick?
To be honest with you, the thing with Eurovision is it's one fewer UK artist whose career isn't going to get destroyed.
Oh dear.
That's probably so. It's not entirely a bad thing. I don't think any of us
And
were banking
also,
on the UK winning. So
EastEnders being cancelled as well.
EastEnders is going down to 2 episodes a week. Now, when EastEnders first started 35 years ago,
During the war.
and yeah, they had wars in the 80s, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think it was only on like once or twice a week. So,
Anyway, yeah.
Just like old times.
Indeed, just like the olden times. Right, okay.
Yeah. They've postponed it. I think they're filming about 6 weeks ahead at the moment, which makes sense. When I did the filming there in September. Did I ever mention I was an extra on the show? It was like mid-November that it came out, so that kind of makes sense.
Right, okay. So let's start the show off properly. What are we going to talk about first, Nick?
Right. Well, Eurovision's been cancelled, as we mentioned.
Right. So
No,
what do you think about that then, Nick, with Eurovision? How do you feel that is happening? And why do you think they've cancelled it? Is it due to the crowds or the fact that the UK never win anyway?
Well, it's obviously because it's not just the UK pulled out. It's a lot
There's
of
a joke there.
A lot of the main ones. Yes, there's a lot of countries said that they weren't going to be able to travel there. So ultimately they had to cancel it. People are just very sensitive about like large scale events. That anyway, of course,
That's right.
yesterday,
because potentially they could do it without a crowd. That's what they've been doing with WWE. Whoa! Everyone's like, yeah, they're doing live shows without a crowd. So it's like the Undertaker guys, and then there's no one there apart from the Undertaker and a few others. And so it's like AJ Styles and Undertaker are battling it out to an empty arena.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's like with something like WWE, they're trying to focus more on a storyline than anything else that they don't really have with Eurovision. So with
this is it.
So it would make people performing a gig to one man and his dog is kind of accepted as a bit of a necessary evil for upcoming bands playing pubs and clubs and stuff. But yeah, not for something on the same scale as Eurovision. So yeah.
Well, the thing is, potentially they could just get the bands in to play with just the judges, but obviously it's a really big precautionary measure to cancel the whole thing.
Yeah, it's
like Saturday Night Takeaway or whatever it's called, without Deck, that only runs for like a month anyway, is now doing it without a crowd. To be honest, I would rather a lot of these things that need crowds to work, like WWE, Ant and Deck, all these things that need crowds to work, they should just cancel them for a few months. Like they've cancelled football, they've cancelled, what else have they cancelled, Nick?
Glastonbury.
Indeed, yeah.
That was cancelled yesterday. I don't think anyone was really surprised.
No, exactly. It's insane, really, what's happening with all this. But I think, what you have to look is the ramifications of the fact that they've cancelled Glastonbury, Nick, is that is actually in nowhere near the future. That's in quite a few months' time.
3 months to be precise.
3 months' time to be precise.
What they're currently doing... You finish your sentence.
So does that mean that the government or the higher-ups or the people that run Glastonbury think that it's not going to be all sorted by then? I mean, they do need to start planning, tilling the field, getting everything ready now. So perhaps they're cancelling it because they can't get things ready.
That's the impression I'm getting as well. I think I remember seeing an interview with Emily Evis from the Glastonbury crew, and I think she actually did say, it's like once it's finished, alongside all our other work, we begin planning next year.
Exactly, yeah, and they can't plan next year, obviously.
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, Glastonbury's had to be cancelled for various reasons before as well. I think they had various issues with security. It's like 20 years ago. There was some awful events at festivals where people were getting crushed and stuff, and there was so much pressure because that was a time when there were lots of issues with people climbing over fences, and basically the festival was above capacity.
Yeah. And what was it? I might be getting it wrong, but what was the big football event where people died? Was that?
That was Hillsborough in 1989.
Hillsborough in 1989, yeah. I wasn't sure if it was Hillsborough or something else, yeah. But yeah, you don't want anything similar to Hillsborough. And not being funny, they're very sensible, these things, because what happens, and we talked about this in a previous video with the prank guy on the train, what happens if someone shows symptoms while they're in the crowd, everyone goes nuts, people might actually die or get seriously injured because people are stampeding, maybe running away from him. It seems like overreacting, but no, they're going to police people. Apparently police have got able to now, if they see anyone with corona-style symptoms, they're able to imprison them and take them back to the safe houses and things like that, which is insane, but it's true. Something might happen that will trigger off a really bad event.
But yeah, we're dealing ultimately with an unknown entity here, and we might complain about health and safety a lot, but ultimately, you just have to be cautious sometimes.
Catch it, bin it,
kill it.
Indeed. And you just got to look after yourselves and make sure that you do wash your hands lots. And, you've got to make sure that, obviously, the people that you're around are looking after themselves as well. Because, yes, you're looking after yourself, but you should be mindful and make sure that other people are looking after themselves as well.
Absolutely. So,
because then that'll in turn make sure you're healthy as well.
So, yes, I think we kind of have to look at it. We're going to see what happens with the other festivals. Normally, myself and the Phoenix FM crew get involved with Latitude Festival in Suffolk.
Yes, you do, don't you? Which you've had some great times, and you've done some vlogs for us as well.
Yes, indeed.
Which I recommend revisiting.
And Stand and Calling Festival in Hertfordshire as well. Those aren't confirmed at the moment because the government is currently working on a 12-week basis.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. This is fresh news for me. Go on.
So yeah, they're currently looking ahead by about 12 weeks. So that's why. That's why Glastonbury and Eurovision, which would fall within that time scale, have been cancelled.
Okay.
It's also why exams have been cancelled as well. We can't really say a lot about exams at the moment because nothing's been confirmed about it as yet. I can understand why they're doing it. Having worked for many years as an invigilator myself, it's not simply a matter of we turn up when the students turn up.
No, exactly, yeah.
We're really going to have to see what happens there. There's lots of talk of what might happen, putting them back to another day.
Exactly.
Using kind of like qualifications that they already have, or in some cases, students may even have to repeat a year, which would be an absolute last case scenario.
Not pleasant.
Yeah, but we've got But so yeah, that's very much a case of, you know, we can only speculate and we shouldn't even be doing that.
No, you should not.
I think so. At the moment, with July events, the aforementioned Latitude and Standing Calling are both towards the end of July. Latitude is mid-July. Standing Calling is end of July. We'll wait and see with those. I wouldn't be surprised if they were cancelled. I don't want to tempt fate by saying either way.
That's right.
But it's so yeah. It's just at the moment it's very much a matter of wait and see. But I think a lot of stuff they seem to be operating on a 12-week basis.
Okay.
So we're kind of looking towards, you know, end of June at the moment, which is why kind of like events within that bracket.
Yeah.
So, you know, with things like Eurovision, Glastonbury, the Chelsea Flower Show. My mum is devastated.
Chelsea Flower Show's been
that
cancelled.
the Chelsea Flower Show has been cancelled. A voiceover conference that I was going to in May has also been cancelled, but they're doing a lot more virtual stuff. So they're doing a lot more things online.
Yes, they are, because obviously Badger Junior's dance class has an option to be online, and the gym, of all places, is now going to be online apparently, where obviously some man now tells you how to do certain exercises and you follow it. But you can just go on YouTube for that. Anyway.
Well, if you're looking for a trusted source,
This
which
is
is
true.
where you're doing it, because there's loads of stuff out there on YouTube about exercises and stuff. I mean, I was following random workouts on the internet for several years.
Yeah, there is a guy
they aren't
that
always the best fit. They
No,
aren't always
of
the
course
best
not.
fit. And they aren't always designed for your gym.
This is true. There's one guy I do recommend. He's called Coach Kozak, and he's fantastic. So do check him. But yeah, let's talk about some other stuff, Nick, before we run out of time. Let's talk about EastEnders being cancelled.
Indeed.
It's insane. Like, so they're limiting the amount of things with social distancing. I think that's nuts. But it is interesting and it is warranted, because obviously having large groups of people on set and things like that for long periods of time would actually make the spread of it. If they're able to contain it to 1 or maybe 2 episodes a week, then that will obviously lessen the contagion.
It's easy to forget that a lot of those shows are filmed like on 10 to 12 hour shifts.
Exactly. So it's not it's not going to be 2 hours done. It's like a whole day. Because you have to think about this, you know more about film production and TV production than I, but I'm guessing that's a bit average, really. That's the norm, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be there the whole day. I mean, when you filmed Spider-Man, didn't you have to get there at 6 a.m. or something insane?
When I filmed Spider-Man, I mean, one disclaimer I will say, Spider-Man was a very short day. We actually had to be there for 4:30 in the morning. Yes. So we started filming at 6. We filmed Running for Our Lives several times. And we went on until 10 a.m. because we were filming at the Tower of London.
Yeah.
And, of course, all the tours start around 10 a.m. So we could only really film until then. But when I filmed Final Score, the Dave Bautista film, that was...
Bautista!
Yeah, that was filmed overnight on a 12-hour shift, and we had to run for our lives. It felt like about 90 times, but realistically, it was probably about 30.
Good practice for now.
Yeah. But yeah, and lots of things like that I do. Of course, there's lots of other people working 10 to 12 hour shifts. I'm going to give a shout out to my sister Helen, who is a paramedic.
Yes.
She's currently working like long shifts and is on the front line.
So mega big shout out to the NHS.
Yes, mega shout out to the NHS.
And of course, all those care workers looking after all those special needs children in care homes out there. Thank you very much, and everyone that's in the care homes looking after all the elderly, big shout out to you. And of course, big shout out to all those poor retail workers that are working in abandoned department stores.
Yes.
Because no one can afford all these different luxuries. Everyone's just constantly buying toilet roll. And that goes on to our next thing that we're going to talk about, panic buying.
Yes, it needs to stop. I was actually walking around Sainsbury's in Brentwood yesterday, and I couldn't believe how empty the shelves were. I'm like, okay, it's not just a thing. I could have taken a photograph, but decided not to. Because because taking photographs isn't a bad idea, because it encourages more panic!
Whoopsie doodle.
If you shared a photo of an empty supermarket shelf, congratulations, you are part of the problem.
Help, Mum.
You sit there and you think about what you've done.
Sorry, Mummy. Right. Right, anyway, yeah, that's a terrible thing to do, Nick. You're right. Don't be part of the problem.
It is. So, you know, and ultimately it just instills more fear and people are just like, oh no, the supermarket's going to run out. I'd better go and panic buy as well.
Buy tons of toilet roll.
Yes, because after all, it is cheaper than tissues, but still, leave some for people, you know?
Yeah, and you can't eat, well, you can eat it, but that's
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
I mean, it's not going to make you ill, but it's not going to make you full either.
No, and there's no nutritional value in toilet roll.
I was sent a picture of a toilet roll shaped cake the other day.
Yes, I've seen that now.
Amazing.
Amazing. I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
We might have to make that the thumbnail.
I know. Yeah, I've seen that. Definitely. Yeah. Oh God, I've seen that. It's hilarious. But yeah, it looks a really nice cake as well. I really want to have some.
Yeah.
But yeah. Panic
Just
buy.
don't grab it thinking it's toilet roll.
Yeah. Honestly, now there's some really good advice I'm about to give. I know we've had a joke about it, but please do make sure if your local supermarket opens early, get there when you can, because obviously some supermarkets now are opening extra early, like 5 or 6 a.m, and you're able to get there, especially if you have elderly parents or elderly relatives or anything like that.
I think a lot of those early shifts are designed specifically for those people.
Yes, exactly. So if you can, and also if you are of our age and you're perfectly fit and healthy, please do not panic buy, touch wood, please do not panic buy. And another note that's a very good option is please do support your local shops. Now, there is that poor man or woman, or anything in between, that is literally sitting there making sure that their livelihood and their business keeps going. Support local off licenses, support greengrocers, support butchers, and support the corner shop.
Well said.
You know, when was the last time you bought a paper or something like that? You know, support smaller businesses. These are the businesses that if we don't look after them, they're going to go, you know. And the one time when you want to get that magazine or that bit of meat quick or that extra pint of milk, it's not going to be there. So please do, when we can, please do support them. Yes, when you can, please do support it all. It is most important, okay?
Well said.
Indeed. So what else are we going to talk about, Nick?
Well, the college where we work is closing down tomorrow. Lessons are stopping. So yeah, this might be our last on the bench for a while.
I was going to say, this might be our last on the bench for a while, which will be sad, but we can, of course, don't forget, watch the playlists and all the business.
Indeed. Of course, there's some new travel videos coming up from me, and
which will be novel because nobody else can leave the house, so it'll be quite fun to watch you on your
most
adventures.
of it is older footage, so I might actually become a bit sentimental, going, oh, those days when I could leave the house and feel fine about it. So yeah.
But yes, exactly. So, you know, please do remember, there is going to be content still on the show. I will be plugging away. I'll be doing vlogs. I'll be doing the streams, and I'll be doing everything in between for you two as well.
Vlogging from home as well.
That's right. Nick's going to do some vlogs from home. Send them over. So please do comment on the different topics you want me and Nick to talk about. Yet, sadly, this probably will be the last on the bench for the next 3 or 4 weeks, but we will resume the season soon. So don't worry. And of course, we have contingency plans, because we sat there and had a long meeting, didn't we, Nick?
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we sat there and had a really long meeting. We didn't just decide it now. So we are going to make sure that we supply content for the channel. Do not worry. So there's going to be plenty of stuff coming up to stop everyone going insane, because it will stop me going insane because I'll be busy. It will stop Nick going insane because he'll be busy, and it will stop you guys going insane because you can all have a laugh with us. Now, is there anything else you want to talk about, Nick? Let's talk about now. What I wanted to talk about, and we sort of glazed over it quick. WWE, Vince McMahon, why the heck is he letting his wrestlers still wrestle with all this going on? And the same thing's happening in AEW. Why are these guys still wrestling? Because it's empty crowds. Wrestling is a participation sport, yeah? It's a crowd participation sport. There's going to be WrestleMania without a crowd.
And also, they're in very close contact with each other.
Exactly.
You can't just clothesline someone from afar.
Social distancing. Can you imagine a social distance clothesline?
That's just not possible.
It is. Look at this. There you go. So this is the thing. Actually connected there. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I just must admit though, you guys must make sure that you look after each other and please do practice social distancing. But yes, Vince McMahon should not be such a money-grabbing little scamp. Because he should literally send all his wrestlers home, get them to work out in their home gyms or whatever they use to exercise, as long as they're safe, and make sure they're peak and ready. Can you imagine a fit Goldberg? Can you imagine a fit Undertaker, a fit Hulk Hogan? All these guys that are rested, looking after themselves, keeping them safe, and literally coming back and kicking the proverbial arse. It would be a fantastic show, wouldn't it? Stone Cold, rehabbed, would be fantastic. It'd be brilliant.
So yeah, I think unless they're trying to honour some kind of agreement, which you know, even that to some extent, you know, with what's going on is questionable.
Exactly. So please do look after yourselves where you can.
Yeah.
There's another thing I want to talk about, Nick, and it was appeared on my Instagram last night, which was Arnold Schwarzenegger basically talking about how everyone just chill, and he was literally in his hot tub with his dogs, smoking a cigar and all that sort of thing, and he was like, don't worry about it all, everything's going to blow over, which he is right pretty much, but obviously not all of us live in luxurious mansions, so he needs to be very careful on the way he presents himself, because not for, you know, if you live in a fantastic mansion, social distancing is going to be a cakewalk. If you live in a 13-storey flat in Harold Hill, it's not going to be that easy. So think about how you're handling these things, you know. Please be careful when you joke about social distancing and things like that.
You know, I mean, even restaurants. A restaurant I was in yesterday in Brentwood during my last adventure for a while was you know, had some tables like, please do not sit here, this is to help social distancing.
Wow,
so it's actually really a thing and stuff.
That's really bizarre. So yeah, please do make sure you look after yourselves. But yeah, I don't think Arnold meant anything by it, but
no,
it sort of came across a bit differently.
And it is the kind of thing that people can rip you for. Yeah,
because obviously, you know, I haven't got an infinite supply of cigars and hot tubs, so I think, why would I need more than one hot tub? That didn't really make any sense. But you get what I mean. Like, I think he needs to be careful. But obviously he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is right. Everything's going to blow over. Everything's going to be fine eventually. But it's not going to be as easy for some as it is for others. Absolutely. So please do bear that in mind when you joke about social distancing. I don't joke about social distancing much, do I?
I think we've done our jokes about social distancing. Hi everyone, doesn't this backdrop look nice? I am going to miss this backdrop so much. You know, that's not actually sarcasm. This here at Ardley House is actually quite a nice area, and it's really nice for film, and it's really nice for filming on the bench.
Yeah, and no one's here now. We can hear the birds tweet, which is weird and awesome at the same time.
And we can also talk as loudly as we like.
Bye for now, Barbie Batarami.
Take care, everyone. Wash your hands, because you can go far with clean hands and hope in your heart.
Keep safe, keep well, wash your hands, practice social distancing.
We will be back very soon.
Indeed. And of course, I will be doing a video on 100 things to do while you're bored. And this one isn't a joke. This is actually going to be a legit thing. It might not be 100 things, that was a bit over the top. Maybe 20 or 30 things. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to compile a list of things you guys can do at home, and it's going to be a proper list. It's not going to be a joke one this time.
And if you need some contributions, you know where I am.
Oh yes. Look after yourselves, wash your hands, keep safe, and make sure, if the zombie apocalypse hits, make sure you arm yourself with a samurai sword and an Uzi. Bye.